Hello, Sally.
Hello, good morning.
For joining us for the Life After Lockdown series. It's really good to talk to somebody from York for the first time. Everybody else so far has been from outside York. So thank you very much for doing this. Can you start by explaining to everybody what it is you do? Just to give us an idea of who you are and what you're all about.
Okay, yeah, so I'm a registered nutritionist, registered nutritional therapist, and a health writer. And I ran my own nutritional therapy clinic in York for just over 10 years. I've just actually just before lockdown, I was winding that up anyway. So it kind of the timing was quite interesting there. And I now do a lot of teaching work. So I teach people at master's level to become registered nutritionists, registered nutritional therapists. So I run the student clinic, do a lot of education work there, and kind of health writing for various companies and places. Yeah, so that's me in a nutshell.
And the local press.
Yeah, they don't want me anymore.
Their loss.
Their loss. I did work there for 6 years, to be fair. So they've rebranded the whole kind of family wellness edition that we were all in. So none of us do it anymore. But yeah, it was good.
All right, good. Can you tell us a little bit then? You've alluded to it already because of the transition that you personally have gone through with your work. But what impact has lockdown had on what you do? And how do you see it panning out in the future?
Oh, it's had a huge impact. So in terms of the education work, obviously we had to get everything online literally overnight so that we could keep teaching the students. The students are scattered all over the country. So we wanted to make sure that they could continue. A lot of universities have actually just stopped courses. We didn't want to do that. And being a small college, and we know our students really well, so it's much more of a community feel. We wanted to keep that going. So we kind of overnight tried to put everything onto Teams and Zoom. We got the nutrition clinic transferred online within 2 weeks, which was kind of a record, because we had to get all our paperwork, so physical paperwork, consent forms and all that kind of stuff. We had to switch them into being online versions that people could access easily, give their informed consent to before coming to an online appointment. To get the technology working. Obviously, the staff are just as nervous as the students were, so we're all in it together. But we've had a few glitches and things, but everybody's been very good-humoured and calm about it. And I think because everybody's in the same boat, it's like, oh well, this is just how it is at the minute, So we've kind of got through it. So that was kind of the teaching side of things. I did have a lovely writing job that had come through just before lockdown, and I actually did the work and sent it in. And then they said, we have to put this on hold. We don't know what's happening with us as a company. So I was like, okay, well, could have lost that. I don't know. But then last week it came back. It was revived.
Right.
So they've gone ahead with it, which was great. And yeah, that's kind of been the main impact. And it's just been getting used to working from home all day, every day. I'm very lucky in that my son he's just turned 18 actually during lockdown, so he doesn't need kind of constant attention from me or anything like that. He was due to sit his A level, so we had to go through all that blow of not doing it, don't know what's going to happen, and he's trying to find a job at the minute, which is difficult. But I really doff my cap to all the people that have been home educating and trying to work as well. I don't know how they're managing that. So I felt quite lucky from that respect. And I have a lovely home and I've got a nice garden. So I know in many ways, it's could have been a lot worse, and I'm quite well off comparatively during lockdown, but it's still difficult, I think, just living everything online. Just that constant screen staring thing. Yeah, that's been a big change to get used to, and not having that switch off time between work and home. So normally, walking to work or getting the bus or something, you've got that transition time. You can leave your work woes and then you can come home again. But, you literally shut the laptop and then you're in the kitchen. So it's, been trying to find ways to transition a little bit better.
It's quite interesting that, isn't it? Because a lot of people during this period have actually, I think people who worked like in an office full time and then have had to work from home have actually said it's improved their work-life balance. But equally, it has that danger that, you can actually just, like you've said, end up sitting in front of your screen for hours on end with sometimes you actually feel that you've got to do more at home just because you've got to justify being at home in some ways.
Yeah, Yeah, definitely. And I think I can see how it would improve work-life balance for a lot of people, especially if you have a long commute, you know, like an hour or something, then you're going to have an hour more at home with your family, which is wonderful. But like you say, it's that danger of just still being in work mode all the time and finding ways of transitioning between work and home life. So I've taken to going for a walk on a morning before I sit down to work so that I've still got some outdoor time. Or go for a run, like
Or
you
a
love
run,
to say.
yes.
A run, yes. I was out this morning thinking, I wonder if I'll see you, and I'm on my run this morning.
We didn't get that far this morning.
But that's really helping because I feel like I've been out in the world and then coming into work, and I might do that at the end of the day as well. And then, you know, sit down and make tea and have family time and stuff like that. So
that's really good. I think that's really important as well. One thing that I'm interested as well to know is that has this enforced lockdown period that we had enabled you to do anything differently that you now feel has it actually improved things for you?
Or something that you'll keep going, maybe?
interesting. Definitely got more confident with the technology, I think. And I think that's going to be something that's going to be with us for a long time. I know at college we're going to be teaching online till Christmas at the earliest, probably.
So no back to...
No, not back yet, no. We kind of have to go back once all the students are able to go back. We can't really run some coming into college, some not coming into college kind of thing. So it's got to be when everybody's able to do it. So I think, yeah, it's good to be more confident in the technology because that opens up a lot of possibilities as well. I'm trying to think what else I might carry on with afterwards.
Did you change any personal habits that because you had to and thought, well, maybe this isn't so bad after all, I quite like doing this? Was there anything like that?
Not really, because I was already going, you know, for running and doing outdoor exercise. You know, I sometimes do my yoga outside, things like that. And I've been wanting to get more creative time anyway. That was something I was working on before lockdown. So I guess in a way that has given me a little bit more of a shove to do that because there is a little bit more time in the day. You know, if I instill my work boundaries, then I do have more time for creative stuff and things like that. So it's been a lesson in being boundaried with my time. Yeah.
One of the things we both really enjoy is your Facebook page, your group that we're part of as well, is like some of the things you put on just to inspire people, like, you know, every so often and ask people to, you know, to give their, to come in with ideas of their own on various things food related. And I think during this period, a lot of people have become more conscious of you know, their diet and eating a healthy diet. Have you seen quite a lot of people come to you for advice as a result of what's been happening? To how can I actually make healthy changes to my diet?
I think, well, I've certainly noticed an increase in kind of engagement with certain posts, like you say, and thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. That's lovely to hear. And I did a post before lockdown actually about nutrients that can help support the body in dealing with all kinds of coronaviruses, not necessarily just COVID-19. And that was one of the most popular and well-read blog posts I think I've ever done. So it shows that people are really interested in this kind of thing. I know that really in my group, I'm already preaching to the converted. Everybody's there because they want to be there, so they're already interested in it. But there's definitely been, I think, more people growing things in the garden this year, you know, experimenting, even if it's just some tomato plants or herbs, little things like that that make a difference. So I'm hoping that will continue for them. And I think, yeah, gradually people are starting to realise the importance that nutrition has. Obviously, we're still kind of banging our heads a bit against a government that isn't openly saying it, but there was some good stuff in the British Medical Journal recently about nutrition and the role it has to play, so we're kind of feeling like we might be getting listened to after all.
You'd hope so after the Prime Minister himself was one of the victims of their virus.
Well, you would, yeah, though I'm still waiting for them to be a bit more insistent about people taking vitamin D and things like that. Yeah, there's so many things that we can do, and they need to clamp down on processed foods and food availability for people on low incomes and things. Yeah, there's a long way to go.
Yeah, that's right. In terms of looking ahead to the future, do you have any particular hopes that might have been triggered as a result of us all going through a pandemic and something that's really quite a major event? have you got any hopes for yourself, for your work, or even globally, things that you hope will change as a result of us having gone through this experience?
I would love it if all the environmental benefits could be expanded upon, you know. So within weeks of lockdown, we saw, you know, fish in the crystal clear canals in Venice and things like that, you know, dolphins coming into harbours where they couldn't previously get to because of huge ships and things like that, and skies clear, smog clearing, all those wonderful things. If we can do something about that, yeah, you know, maybe people do work from home more, so there's less traffic on the roads. People will then feel more confident about cycling because there's less traffic on the road. I've been on my bike twice in lockdown, which is huge for me. That sounds terrible. It's been twice in 4 months, but I hadn't been on it for like a year, and it just sits in the garage, and my husband despairs. But I get terrified of the traffic, and now there's virtually none, you know, the odd car, and I'm, you know, I can cope with that. But it just gives me that confidence to then cycle more. So that could have a ripple effect, which in turn will help people's health and well-being. I would love for people to start paying more attention to their well-being as a whole. So, you know, the fact that people they've missed being able to go out during those first few weeks of lockdown. So they've really enjoyed it when they have been able to get outside, get fresh air, and the impact that has, the positive impact that has on our mental health. And, you know, I'd love for that benefit to keep going. And for people just to value care more. This government is insistent on us, you know, trying to rebuild our economy based on construction and things like that, when we need to be focusing on the care aspect of it and how we look after one another, how we eat, how we look after our well-being. That's what I would love to see more focus on.
Yeah, and it certainly came up a lot during the pandemic. There was a lot of, you really felt that people were caring about other people, and that was lovely. And it would be a shame to see that dissipate again. But I wonder if that is happening with the emphasis now on the economy, which I understand, but I think it's slightly in the wrong place.
Yeah, definitely. And they're making it one or the other when it doesn't have to be. It can sit together. We can still, you know, rebuild our economy and be a caring society and value the things that matter, and all those kind of things.
Yeah, that's great. I think we share those views very much as well.
We do, yes.
Oh yes, I know you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there anything?
No, I think that probably covers it.
We do want to ask you how people can get in contact with you. How would they become a student, for example, if they wanted to study with you?
Oh, if they want to study, I'm at the Northern College of Acupuncture, which is www.nca.co.uk. I think should know the website address. But if you just Google kind of nutrition, masters in York, it will come up. And Northern College of Acupuncture, obviously, we come up for that really well. If anybody wants to get in touch with me, my Facebook page and my Facebook group cunningly have the same name of Nutrition in York. I like to keep it simple, and I'm also on Twitter as well with that handle.
Yeah, Nutrition in York. Yeah, at Nutrition in York. Perfect. Okay then, well, thank you very, very much for joining us. It's been really lovely to talk to you, and hopefully we'll see you out running again soon, so we actually get to speak to you in person. We'll end the recording now, and we'll just speak to you briefly afterwards. And thank you really very, very much.
Yeah, thanks,
Sally. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.